The morning sun hit the clay village, turning every rooftop into a glowing amber beacon. A wooden signpost at the village square swung in the breeze, displaying a banner that read, "Splash Day at the Big Blue Pond today." Children dashed past, their feet pattering against the packed earth, clutching towels and shouting toward the water. Boinky stood by the fountain, his orange glow pulsing in a steady rhythmic beat. He watched the crowd surge toward the pond, then looked down at his own feet. He took one step forward, then stopped. The pond was a vast, shimmering expanse of blue clay, but to Boinky, the distance from the bank to the water looked like a jagged, bottomless canyon. He retreated to a nearby rock, folding his arms tightly across his chest to anchor himself. His pulse slowed. The orange light emanating from his skin flickered, dimming to a dull, muted peach. He pressed his back against the rock, staring at the water. A faint scraping sound broke the silence. Nunu, the snail, emerged from the grass, sliding slowly across the surface of the rock until he rested just inches from Boinky. The distance between them was filled only by the distant, muffled laughter of the children at the pond. Nunu did not speak at first. He shifted his shell, the calcium ridges clicking softly against the stone. "You have been sitting here for a long time," Nunu whispered, his voice barely audible over the wind. Boinky kept his gaze locked on the shimmering blue clay, his jaw set tight. "I think I am just not the kind of kid who does things like this," Boinky replied, his voice trembling as he spoke the words aloud. Nunu adjusted his position, turning his eye stalks toward the water. "The first time I tried to climb the Great Hill, I slid back down 17 times. I hit the dirt, I rolled, and I failed. Each time, the slope felt steeper than the last." Nunu paused, his body glistening in the sun. "But on the 18th time, I reached the top. The village looked like a tiny, beautiful painting from up there." Boinky turned his head, watching the snail's slow, steady movement. The orange light on his skin stopped its frantic flickering, settling into a low, steady pulse. Boinky pushed himself up from the rock. His legs felt thin and unstable, wobbling like soft, unbaked clay. He took a slow, deliberate step toward the pond, then another, his focus narrowing until the world outside the bank ceased to exist. He reached the edge, where the packed earth dropped away into the blue expanse. He stopped, his toes curled over the rim of the bank, gripping the dirt as if to tether himself to the solid ground. He looked down at the shimmering surface, his breath hitching in his chest. "I am scared," he whispered. "I am really, really scared." Saying the words aloud acted like a physical anchor. His breathing slowed, evening out into a steady rhythm. He sat down at the very edge, letting his feet dangle over the void. He waited for the panic to return, but it remained distant. He lowered his feet further until they brushed the cool liquid clay. He gasped, then kicked his legs, watching the water dance around his ankles. The other children had stopped their games, gathering on the shore to watch in silence. Boinky stood up again, his posture rigid but determined. He closed his eyes, visualizing not a monster wave, but the sensation of weightlessness. He took a deep, shaky breath. 1 second, 2 seconds. He pushed off. The world shifted into a quiet, blue-tinted silence as he broke the surface. Bubbles danced around him like tiny, shimmering stars. He opened his eyes, watching the light filter through the water in long golden shafts. He kicked his legs, driving himself toward the surface. He broke through the tension of the water with a shout. Wahoo! The pond erupted in cheers. Zoro and the others splashed toward him, their faces bright with excitement. Boinky laughed. His clay cheeks wept with a mix of pond water and tears of relief. He looked back at the bank, then at his friends, his orange glow radiating a steady, intense light that illuminated the water around him. He had crossed the distance. The sun dipped below the horizon, bleeding violet and gold across the sky. Boinky walked along the path, the cool evening air drying the pond water on his skin. Nunu slid slowly beside him, his shell catching the fading light. Boinky looked back at the pond, now a dark, still mirror in the distance. He felt the familiar tightness in his chest, the same tremor that had held him back all morning. It had not vanished. He realized then that the fear was still there, waiting. He had simply chosen to move through it. His orange glow pulsed with a steady, warm intensity, casting long shadows on the path ahead. How did it feel? Nunu asked. Boinky paused, feeling the weight of the day settle into a quiet strength. It felt like I got bigger on the inside, he replied. The village lights flickered to life, one by one, as the day finally gave way to the soft, deep blue of twilight.